Psalm 74 verse 1 to 22 through the Bible. Psalm 74. Theme: a cry for deliverance when the temple is defiled by the enemy. In this psalm, the temple is before us again, and this time it is being profaned. It is a maskil psalm, not of David but of Asaph, who is a Levite and a musician in the tabernacle. O God, why hast thou cast us off forever? Why doth thine anger smoke against the sheep of thy pasture? Psalm 74 verse 1. The psalmist asks, Why have you done this to us? Then he cries out, Remember thy congregation, which thou hast purchased of old, the rod of thine inheritance, which thou hast redeemed, this Mount Zion, wherein thou hast dwelt. Psalm 74 verse 2. He gives us the geographic location. The psalmist obviously is talking about the land of Palestine and the nation Israel. Lift up thy feet unto the perpetual desolations, even all that the enemy hath done wickedly in the sanctuary. Psalm 74 verse 3. Notice that it is the sanctuary that the enemy had profaned. Thine enemies roar in the midst of thy congregations. They set up their ensigns for signs. Psalm 74 verse 4. What has happened? This is prophetic of that terrible invasion by the forces of Antiochus Epiphanes. He was a Syrian, in the family of one of the 4 generals who divided up the empire of Alexander the Great after his death. In 175 BC, he plundered Jerusalem, profaned the temple by pouring the broth of a sow all over the holy vessels, and placed an image of Jupiter in the holy place. This was called the transgression of desolation in Daniel 8. In AD 70, the destruction by Titus, the Roman who profaned the temple and leveled it to the ground, was also a fulfillment. However, there will be further fulfillment of Asaph's prophecy after the temple is rebuilt. During the tribulation, the final abomination of desolation will be revealed, which will profane the holy place. You will notice that in spite of all of this persecution and discouragement, a godly remnant will say, For God is my King of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. Psalm 74 verse 12. Now hear their prayer. Remember this, that the enemy hath reproached, O Lord, and that the foolish people have blasphemed thy name. Psalm 74 verse 18. In other words, Israel is saying to God, The enemy has taken us, and many of the people of our nation have been foolish. They have not turned to you. But there is a faithful remnant. O deliver not the soul of thy turtle dove unto the multitude of the wicked. Forget not the congregation of thy poor forever. Psalm 74 verse 19. The psalmist cries out, O God, save us in the midst of trouble. He looks forward to that day of God's deliverance. No matter how bad your trouble is, my friend, He will also deliver you. He has delivered His people out of much worse situations than we have been in, and He will do even greater things for them in the future. Arise, O God, plead thine own cause. Remember how the foolish man reproacheth thee daily. Psalm 74 verse 22. This is a call to God to move in victory. It is a prayer that recognizes God's ability to do it. This psalm is a prayer of Asaph. It is a maskil psalm, instructing you and me that we can trust God in all our troubles.